In 1958, the man who once lit up screens with twinkling mischief and quiet gravitas vanished from Hollywood's glare. Barry Fitzgerald, born in 1888, left behind a legacy etched in celluloid. His Academy Award-winning performance in Going My Way, 1944, just one shimmering thread. As the curtain fell on his 30-year career, whispers wondered, why did the Irish charm retreat? Today his characters linger, echoes in empty theatres, proof that magic need not shout to endure. In the twilight of 1958, as the curtain fell on Barry Fitzgerald's luminous career, the world remembered a man whose journey began amidst the cobblestone alleys of Dublin. Born William Joseph Shields in 1888, he was the son of a carpenter, raised in a home where stories of Irish legends and the struggles of the working class intertwined. The Abbey Theatre became his sanctuary, its stages echoing with the dramas of Yeats and Lady Gregory. Here Fitzgerald, adopting his brother's name as his stage moniker, imbibed the essence of performance, his presence both commanding and unassuming. For 2 decades, he remained a pillar of Irish theatre, until the allure of cinema whispered his name westward. Hollywood first glimpsed his genius in 1935's The Informer, where his portrayal of a tormented informant in John Ford's Dark Vision earned him an Academy Award nomination, heralding a new era. Yet it was a decade later that Fitzgerald's star blazed brightest. In 1944's Going My Way, he embodied Father Fitzwilliam, a clergyman whose gentle wisdom and sly wit mirrored a world yearning for hope. The role garnered him an unparalleled feat. Dual Academy Award nominations, winning both Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor, a first in cinematic history. As newspaper headlines hailed, Dublin's darling conquers Hollywood. Fitzgerald's legacy was sealed, not merely as an actor, but as a storyteller whose soul resonated across oceans and generations. Barry Fitzgerald's name became synonymous with cinematic magic when he achieved what no actor had before or since, winning both Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor Oscars for the same role in Going My Way, 1944. The year was 1945, when Fitzgerald, born William Joseph Shields in Dublin's leafy Rathmines neighbourhood in 1888, stood twice at the podium, his craggy face alight with disbelief, to claim Hollywood's highest honours. As Father Fitzwilliam, the Irish priest whose sly wit masked profound humanity, Fitzgerald didn't just steal scenes opposite Bing Crosby, he anchored the film's soul. The Academy's unprecedented double recognition mirrored Fitzgerald's own duality, a stage veteran who brought theatrical grandeur to cinema while retaining intimate authenticity. Decades later, Martin Scorsese would call his performance a masterclass in balancing humor and pathos. But Fitzgerald's genius extended beyond that landmark role. In John Ford's The Quiet Man, 1952, he embodied the rugged poetry of his homeland as Micheline Flynn, his gravelly voice weaving through Technicolor landscapes like a traditional ballad. Even in later years, when his on-screen presence softened, seen in films like The Long Voyage Home, 1940, Fitzgerald never lost the spark that made him a fixture in over 70 films. His final screen appearance in 1958's The Horse's Mouth captured that enduring essence, a twinkle in his eye, a hint of melancholy, and the quiet assurance of a man who'd left his mark on celluloid immortality. Though Barry Fitzgerald's face became a fixture on cinema screens, the man behind the smile remained an enigma. In an era of gossip, columns, and flashing bulbs, he guarded his private world like a cherished script, never to be shared. Rumors whispered of quiet dinners with leading ladies and fleeting romances. Yet no name ever lingered long enough to stick. Colleagues recalled his warmth on set, but also a solitude that clung to him like stage fog, a man who preferred the company of books and his Dublin roots to Hollywood's glittering sauce. He lived in a cottage where cobblestones met sea air, a stone's throw from where he'd once chased dreams as William Joseph Shields. When he passed in 1958, the world mourned a legend who'd left no diaries, no love letters, only the echo of performances that danced between mischief and melancholy. Perhaps his greatest role was the one he played off-screen, a mystery wrapped in the quiet dignity of a man who knew the spotlight could never truly own him. It was the spring of 1951 when the curtains fell on Barry Fitzgerald's luminous career, not with a grand farewell, but a whisper. Fresh from his triumph in John Ford's The Quiet Man, filmed amidst the emerald hills of his native Ireland, Fitzgerald vanished from the screens that had adored him. The man who once lit up cinema with his Oscar-winning dual role in Going My Way 1944 retreated to the cobblestone streets of Dalkey, a quiet village south of Dublin, where he slipped into anonymity like an actor stepping off stage. No press release, no valedictory interview, only the echo of a door closing gently but decisively. By June 1951, Hollywood's darling had dissolved into the mist, leaving fans and critics alike grasping at rumors. Illness? Disillusionment? A longing for roots? The answers, like Fitzgerald himself, remained elusive. For 2 decades he danced between lead and supporting roles with unmatched grace, yet his final act was a masterclass in absence. The world moved on, but in Dalkey, he walked the shorelines he'd cherished as a boy, the Atlantic winds erasing the footprints of fame. When he passed in 1961, the headlines mourned a legend, yet his grave in Dean's Grange Cemetery bore no star, only a simple stone, as if to say, "Here lies a man who chose his own shadows." As the curtain fell on Barry Fitzgerald's luminous career in the spring of 1951, the world was left to wonder what became of the man behind the smile. Fresh from his triumph in John Ford's The Quiet Man, filmed amidst the rolling hills of Ireland, Fitzgerald seemed poised for even greater heights, yet his disappearance from the spotlight was as quiet as the characters he often portrayed. The years that followed were shrouded in mystery, much like the man himself. Fitzgerald retreated into a private world, far from the flashing bulbs and gossip columns that had once chased him. His final days were spent in the quietude of Dublin, where he had returned to his roots, away from the glare of Hollywood. On January 14, 1961, Barry Fitzgerald passed away at the age of 72, leaving behind a legacy that was as enigmatic as it was enduring. The circumstances of his death remain a topic of quiet speculation. Some say he succumbed to a prolonged illness, while others whisper of a heart that simply grew weary of the world's demands. What is certain is that he left no grand farewell, no final words to illuminate the shadows of his life. His passing was noted in the newspapers with a brevity that belied his impact on the silver screen. Yet, in the stillness of his final years, there is a poignant beauty, a man who had given so much to the world of cinema, choosing to end his days in the simplicity of home. Barry Fitzgerald's story is one of contrast, the bright lights of Hollywood and the quiet corners of Ireland, the laughter of his characters and the silence of his private life. As we reflect on his journey, we are left with a sense of wonder, not just for the roles he played, but for the man who played them. His legacy endures not in the answers he left behind, but in the questions that continue to captivate us. Time, that relentless sculptor of legacy, has burnished Barry Fitzgerald's name into the amber of cinematic immortality. In the decades following his passing in 1951, a quiet reappraisal began. Scholars and cinephiles revisited his filmography, unearthing the delicate precision of his craft, a fleeting smirk in The Quiet Man, a tremor of vulnerability in Going My Way. These moments, once fleeting, now shimmer with the weight of eternity. Hidden revelations emerged, letters to his Dublin confidants confessing private battles with the toll of stardom, and a rediscovered 1948 radio interview where he mused, "An actor's truth lies in what he chooses to leave unsaid." Archivists uncovered lost footage from an unfinished 1947 project, his weathered script annotated with marginalia that hinted at a creative restlessness never fully captured on screen. Film festivals now host twilight tributes where his work glows anew, and critics hail him as a maestro of quiet intensity, a bridge between stage tradition and screen intimacy. His 1944 Academy Award win, shared with Bing Crosby for Going My Way, resonates as a high watermark for supporting artistry, a role that defined a generation. Today, Barry Fitzgerald endures not merely as a character actor, but as a spectral guide through the landscapes of human frailty and joy. The man who once stole scenes with a sidelong glance now steals hearts across time, a testament to the eternal dance between light and shadow in the movies. Barry Fitzgerald's life was a tapestry woven with contrasting threads, a humble Dubliner who became Hollywood's beloved character actor, a man who found immortality through fleeting moments on screen. Born in 1888, he navigated both the shadows and spotlight, earning an Academy Award for Going My Way, 1944, while quietly stealing scenes in The Quiet Man, 1952, his final triumph. Yet, the paradox endures. A performer who embodied warmth and whimsy, yet guarded a private world of solitude. As the curtain fell in 1951, the world mourned, unaware his legacy would only deepen with time. Today, his laughter echoes in every frame, a testament to artistry that turned ordinary moments into eternal magic. Barry Fitzgerald, both ephemeral and eternal, remains cinema's quiet, unforgettable heartbeat,